Hi, everybody, and welcome to this Meet the Team TSA video. The idea is that you meet all the wonderful people who are part of the TSA, so you can imagine them when you pick the phone up or when you send them an email. What we're trying to do today is encourage you to feel more at home with the TSA, that all these wonderful people you can now put faces to, and you can know that they're there for you, and you can get in touch with them whenever you need to. And you can rely on their help if you're trying to do anything with our wonderful network of TSA clinics, or if you want to help the many research programs that we're contributing to at the moment. So, meeting the team. First, let's go for the one who's been here longest. I think, Luke, that's you.
Thank you, Martin. So my name is Luke, and I'm the Joint Chief Executive. I've been with the TSA for almost 6 years now. So I started as Head of Communications, then moved on to Head of Communications and Support, and for the last 18 months been proud to be Joint Chief Executive alongside Pooja. Before I joined the TSA, my background was in healthcare and medical communications and PR. And I was also a writer and a journalist for a little while as well, but that feels like a very long time ago now. So in my spare time, I really enjoy learning Polish language. So I've been doing that for 12 years now and can just about say a sentence or two. I do that because my wife is Polish. I also enjoy running at the local running club in particular. I find that is really helpful, in particular for mental health and getting out there, especially with working from home. It's important to get fresh air, even though it's a little bit chilly now and then on the morning, and I do that. And also a big football fan as well, so I support Sunderland AFC.
Hi everyone, I'm Pooja. I'm also the Joint Chief Executive. I've been with the TSA almost 5 years now. I joined as the Head of Research and Policy, and then 18 months ago took over the role of the Joint Chief Executive along with Luke. And my background is in academia, so I'm an ex-academic. I have a master's in genetics and PhD in immunology. I worked as a researcher at King's College London and Imperial College London for 10 years. I'm also a qualified lecturer and used to lecture medical students. It was an exciting life and I love science, but I think after about 10 years in the lab, I decided that lab work was not for me, and I wanted to still stay close to science, but also do something that was more bench to bedside, so more translational. And I think that for me, working in charity provides me that aspect of science. So I'm still learning and keeping in touch with science, but also making sure that everything we do with the people that we do research for. And we include them in everything at TSA as well. So patient public involvement and engagement is very important to us, and we make sure that the voice of patient is at the heart of any decision around research and policy we make. I like doing in my spare time is actually enjoy baking and cooking. I love baking, not to the level of Bake Off, but just enjoy baking. And I also like spending time in my garden. I just love flowers. So I do spend a lot of spring and summertime just tending to my small garden. It's not very big at all. Living in London, the houses don't come with a big garden, but it's just about manageable. And I also like meeting up with friends. I consider myself a people person, so I do enjoy catching up with friends or just meeting up for coffee. And in terms of sports, I would say not a football fan at all, but I do love cricket.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah and I'm the Head of Fundraising. So yeah, in a previous life, I was a police officer for 3 years. After I came out of the police, I didn't know what I was going to do. I ended up in customer services. Didn't really do it for me. I had a passion for helping people. Working in the police, I tried to get in the fire brigade, but I didn't get in. I didn't pass the physical fitness test. But I've always enjoyed helping other people. And I was fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to work as a fundraiser at a children's hospice all those years ago. And ever since then, I've worked in the third sector as a fundraiser. I just love it. And working at the TSA, I'm so glad that I found the team here. I've only worked with the team around 5 months, but it's really exciting time for fundraising at the moment. There's so much that the charity can do to raise more funds and awareness. And it's just going to be great to see the team develop, the fundraising team in particular develop, so we can start to raise that income so we can do more. What I love about fundraising is when you finally do see the income come in, and it takes quite a while for income to come in sometimes. Just what impact that income can have on people in the TSC community. We're a small charity, so every donation counts, and even the smaller donations or a large donation, it all goes towards helping these people, and that's what's so rewarding about working at the TSA. Myself and my husband are really big music lovers, especially my husband. So we do tend to go out to watch a lot of bands in our spare time and at the weekend. Like Pooja, I like going out and meeting up with friends, ex-colleagues. Love catching up. Yeah, having a few drinks perhaps. I'm not a gardener. We have pots in our garden that we replace every year, but they look nice when they're there. Other than that, yeah, enjoy reading, and enjoy meditating when I get the time as well. Enjoy going to gong baths, if you've heard of those as well. So yeah, but I'm not a sporty person. I wish I was, but I'm not. But I do enjoy watching the football when it's on, and my husband's a Liverpool fan, so football's on quite a bit in our house.
I'm Ella, and I'm the Research and Partnerships Officer. I'm just coming up to my 1 year, so I joined April last year, and before that I was working as a researcher in a lab up here in Edinburgh. So I finished up my master's in immunology and regenerative medicine, and before that I was studying neuroscience. My drive and why I love working at the TSA is because I get to really combine my passion for advancing research with that of making a real life difference. I'm very fortunate to work directly with the people, the clinicians, the researchers who are running the trials, as well as matching them up alongside the people who are affected by TSC. So it's so rewarding and so fantastic to see the community being able to play a direct role in that. I've got a 3-year-old daughter, so I don't get an awful lot of spare time. We're usually going to a birthday party or to our local soft play, but when I do get an hour to myself, I like listening to audiobooks or playing my guitar.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy. I'm the Support and Information Officer. My background, I used to work for London Fire Brigade. I was a supervisor in the control room doing the 999 calls, and that, as you can imagine, had a lot of pressure, but also, you know, we were speaking to people in their most difficult moments, potentially that day, that week, that their life, and being able to provide reassurance and letting them know, you know, that help, the right people were on the way to help them, was huge. I then left because I had my daughter, who is now 4. I had a bit of a break through COVID, and then started working at a local charity to me, supporting people who are housebound, supporting them. There were some different community projects, basically to help relieve isolation and get them connected again with the right support. That funding ended and I left, and I found the wonderful TSA. I was really drawn to the TSA because I thought it is something that I'm really passionate about, helping and supporting people. My daughter is autistic and has other medical needs, so it's something I'm familiar with, and I know how difficult it can be and how finding the right support can be really challenging. So being able to be that support for somebody else and get people connected with the right professionals, I think is so important. And like I said before, being that voice on the end of the phone when you might not be able to speak to anybody else can make such a huge difference. And I really want to be that difference for somebody else. That's why I do it. Similarly to Ella, I have a 4-year-old daughter, so her interests have kind of become my interests. At the weekends, we go to a Send gymnastics session and a Send trampolining session. So I guess now I'm into gymnastics and trampolining. On a Saturday night, me and my other half have started trying to have a hobby evening after our little one goes to bed. He paints Games Workshop models, and I currently am building a miniature house, which I got for Christmas, but typically I like to crochet and cross stitch.
It's unusual to have 2 chief executives. Some people would say that this is a disadvantage. I'm hoping that you two will say that 2 heads are better than 1. How do you make it work, Luke?
So I think for some organisations it would be trickier, I'd say, but for us it does genuinely work very, very well. So one of the main reasons that it works so well is, well, obviously Pooja and I have worked together for a long time now together, and also we have very clear advantages and benefits in our knowledge and our own wider background. So I'm very much focused on the support, information, communications, events sides. Pooja much more on the research, policy, advocacy sides. That's not to say that we can't do the other things. Pooja's very, very capable in communications and events, things like that. I'm very capable in research and advocacy. That's very much our strengths. So yes, although we are the joint chief executives, we do still cover what were our previous roles before stepping up as well.
How do you keep in touch with each other? We don't have an office anymore. I remember the days when we had a tin can in East London and called it home. But how do you keep in touch now?
With the technology these days, it's so easy to stay in touch with anybody. And I think, if anything, COVID has taught us that you don't need that physical space to be in touch with someone. All the team members communicate on a regular basis. It's almost like a physical office. So we message each other. It's very informal. We drop questions. We share files. We can call each other anytime. And it's actually worked really well for us through this medium. And like I said, I mean, technology is advanced these days. We have phone, we have email, we have internet, we have Zoom, we have Team. So keeping in touch is relatively very easy.
For your TSA work, do you enjoy most, Luke?
I would say it depends on whatever the TSC community is getting the most benefit from, which is a very political answer, I know, but genuinely, it depends on the project of that day, that week, that month, that year. The things that I do get the most benefit from, or the things that I get the most satisfaction from, it's probably the better way for me to put it, is talking directly with people in our great community who we have directly supported. So if it's a young family who've got in contact with us to learn more about TSC, perhaps they've received a welcome pack and a few other things, and they've told us, this has really helped, thank you. Or if we help get someone a referral to a TSC clinic or something like that. So where we're working most directly with the community is where that's the things I enjoy the most. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned TSA clinics. Pooja, we're trying, I know, to strengthen the network of TSA clinics. It's really quite exciting. What's the latest on that?
So last year, we were officially recognized by the NHS and we formed a rare disease collaborative network of all the TSC clinics. So we have this wonderful network of TSC clinics now fully accredited, fully recognized by the NHS. We are the secretariat to the network. We organize meetings, both virtual and face-to-face for the the clinics to come together, for the clinics lead to come together. We organize meetings for nurses as well to understand what TSC is and be able to then engage with patients, TSC patients, a lot better. And we've also just held our first multidisciplinary team meeting as well, virtual meeting, where it brings together, again, the TSC clinic leads to discuss the complex or complicated cases and not just work within their own clinic or team, but get input and tap into the expertise of the whole network.
So as a result of the work the TSA's done, everybody who now goes to a TSA clinic has the benefit in the background of all TSC clinicians across the country contributing to their case if necessary.
That's right. That's exactly what we hoped, and that's what we've achieved so far.
Wonderful. So people go to the clinics to get information and support. In between the clinics, they can dial the information and support line where they'll find Amy at the end of it. What's it like working at the end of the support line, Amy? What brings you cheer?
Like what Luke said, speaking to the community and hearing from the community is, I guess, the heart of what the support line is all about, and being there for someone when they need something, be it some information or just a listening ear if they've had a really tough run of it and want to speak to somebody. And then hopefully at the end of that call or email, they've got what they've wanted, either the information, knowing that we're going to find that information for them, or just feeling a little bit better having spoken to somebody. And that's really important, because I know for so many people who are either living with a rare condition like TSC themselves, or are the parent or carer of someone, it can be really isolating, and you're quite often chasing up appointments, chasing up answers from various organisations, and quite often you're left just waiting at the end of a waiting list with no one to speak to. So being able to be someone to speak to, sort of in amongst all of that time when you're not able to speak to somebody, I think is really, really important. And that's what I really like, is being able to be that for somebody.
So you're quite happy then for somebody watching this video just to pick up the phone and give you a call and saying, I'm having a really awful day today.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what we're here for. And even if it is just to say, you know, oh, I just really wanted to tell someone that it's rubbish at the minute, you know, that's absolutely fine, because it's fine. You know, there are days when it is just rubbish, and, you know, there are days when it isn't, and that's great too. But, you know, it's fine to be able to say that, and we don't judge anybody for how they're feeling in that moment. And we know it's a roller coaster. So, you know, we're here to listen.
And you're happy for people to call you again and again with a recurring issue that for whatever reason the system doesn't seem to be dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, people can call us again and again with new issues. If it's something, you know, they've already spoken to us and we've helped with one thing, or there's something else that's cropped up, absolutely keep calling us. In fact, in a way, it's great if we hear from someone, we help them resolve something, and we never hear from them again. You know, hopefully that means you don't need us. If you keep calling us, that's great. It means hopefully we're doing something right, and you keep coming back to us. And that's what we want. We want to be able to be that support when people need it, however that may be.
Thank you ever so much, Amy, and I hope many more people are giving you a call as a result of watching this. Meanwhile, the TSA offers many opportunities for you to actually engage in work and research that will help other people, both in the near future and perhaps far into the future. And organising that is Ella, who's leading something these days called the TSC Research Volunteers Network, which sounds a bit of a mouthful, but what actually does it involve, Ella?
Thanks, Martin. Yeah, our TSC Research Volunteer Network is a group of around 40 people affected by TSC in one way or another. So whether they have TSC themselves, they're a sibling, or they're a parent or carer. and they act as, I guess, kind of a small community supporting the steering of research. So sometimes researchers might come to them and say, I'm thinking about doing this. What are your thoughts on that? And sometimes they'll say, great idea. You know, we wish this was done 5 years ago. And sometimes they'll actually say, actually, that isn't one of our priorities right now. Have you thought about looking at it from this perspective? So they take part in so many activities. They're an absolutely fantastic group of people giving up their time to support the research.
And how important is it that people offer to help with trials if they can? We've got quite a limited number of people, so everybody who comes forward is a real help, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. The great thing about the network is people can sign up and they can give as much or as little of their time as they're able to, depending on what they might be facing and going through themselves. So we don't expect people to participate in every single opportunity that comes up. It might be that they help us out with one thing a year. It might be they help us out with 10 things a year. It's a real variation, but absolutely everybody's contribution is so valued.
Well, there you are. I can't say fairer than that. All contributions valued. Talking about contributions being valued, we do need to pay for all of this work. And Sarah is our head of fundraising. How much do we need, Sarah, and where does it come from?
Yeah, so the TSA are a small charity. This year we need to raise £350,000 to run the charity. So my role as head of fundraising is to help raise awareness of the TSA and vital income that we need to continue to run our services.
Why do you enjoy working in fundraising?
So I joined the team around 4 or 5 months ago now, so I'm relatively new to the team, but I can honestly say that the team are amazing. Yeah, even though we're a small charity, we're small but mighty. That's what we say between the team. We do a lot with the team that we have. I enjoy fundraising. I've worked in fundraising for just over 20 years and worked at various charities. So the main thing, like others have said, is the enjoyment and the satisfaction you get from raising the funds. It's not always easy to raise funds these days, as we know, with COVID and cost of living crisis, but we have a really generous community that support us, and it's just fantastic to speak to these people each day and find out often they're going through difficult times themselves, as others have said, but they find the time to help raise awareness and do some amazing things to raise funds as well for us.
Luke, you've listened to everything. Is there anything you'd like somebody to say that they haven't said?
Well, I agree with all of that. I think what I would say really is the team is amazing. I'm so proud of everyone who works at the TSA, and we can really only do what we do thanks to our small team. We do find generally that people are often quite surprised at how small we are, which we take as a big compliment. So we'll often hear from either members of the community or other charities or other external people that, oh, I thought your team was a lot bigger. I thought you were a team of this size. They're often quite surprised at our size, which we, as I say, is a big compliment, a big pat on the back of everyone who's part of the team. But we really truly can only do what we do thanks to the TSA community itself, those individuals, families, and professionals as well who get involved with the TSA, whether it's attending our events, even communicating with us on the TSA Spotline, the Research Volunteer Network, telling us, okay, this would be a good idea, this would be a good idea, this is what is really helpful to us. And of course, those who fundraise, which ultimately ensure our long-term survival. So we can only do thanks to them. Yeah, so it's really thanks to the community itself that we're still here since the mid-70s to now.
Thank you, Luke. Pooja, what are you most looking forward to in the year ahead?
I think for me, it's my belief in our vision, which is health for today and cure for tomorrow. As you've heard from the team, we're all here for you today. And we're tirelessly working behind the scenes to bring new treatments and therapies to make your life better for tomorrow. So for me, I think believe in that mission and working with the community, with the researchers, with the clinicians, with the partners, is really exciting. It's also a very exciting time for research, TSC research at the moment, because we have an exciting pipeline of new treatments, and we're working with the pharmaceutical companies to make sure that the treatments are fit for purpose for the community. We work with licensing bodies and regulatory bodies who approve the treatments, who fund the treatments, and just to see the whole cycle come to an end and bring new treatments like we've done over the last 5 years with everolimus and with Epidiolex. And now we're doing with facial angiofibroma cream and some of the other treatments. I think that to me is very, very exciting, and it just brings me a lot of I think I'm lost for word, but it's just exciting to bring new treatments to the patients and to make sure that they have access to those treatments and hopefully help them manage their condition better.
There you are. That's the TSA team. After watching this video, you won't have any hesitation at all about picking up the phone or sending the email and engaging with one of these wonderful team members and doing all you can, as they are, to help the TSA.